You know, it's the tiny things that really make the difference in a dollhouse, all the little accessories. So I have here some cocktail sticks. You guys might want to call them toothpicks, but cocktail sticks, generally speaking, have a sharp pointy end on both ends. So I've got out my miter shears, and yes, I know what they're called now. And I'm just cutting them. So today I'm going to show you how I make little tiny pencils, and these are so easy to make, and they just add something to a miniature room for sure. So I find the pointy bit a little bit too long, so I'm just going to trim it off here, just slightly, so because the pencil point wouldn't be that long in scale. So I'm just grabbing out my paint, and I'm filling up my little paint tray with a little bit of paint. You can see here I've got red and white for the erasers and yellow for the color of the pencil. So I'm got my Dollar Tree little holders here, and I'm holding it by the pointy end, so the pointy end is inside, and I'm just gonna go around and paint these little pencils yellow, which is, I don't know, growing up that's the most common color I ever seen pencils. So and then I'm just gonna take a little bit of white and a little bit of red, and I'm going to make some pink to put on the top of it, which will represent what the eraser would look like. So I'm just trying to get the right color pink here, and I'm just going around the edge of the top of it with the pink, and then of course painting the very top piece of it as well. So and again, this little thing is super easy, but it's the kind of detail that one wants inside of a dollhouse. So I've made 4 of them in total, and I think it would be impossible to do if you didn't have these little clips to hold them, because they're just so tiny, so it's so much easier to have something to hold it with. And then I brought out my testers. I do have other gold paints, but I find this one to be the richest. So I'm grabbing out another fine brush, and I'm just going to go around and replicate the little piece of gold metal that would be holding the eraser and the pencil. So as you can see here, I'm just trying to put a very thin line all the way around the pencil. And I mean, you can't get any easier than this. It's so easy to do. So and I'm just going around it with the gold. And I guess if you wanted to, you could also do colored pencil crayons as well, the same way. Although they typically wouldn't have an eraser on the end of them. So you can see here, that's what it looks like. It's not showing up, my lighting isn't great, but at the end of the video I'll show you a better close-up. So now I'm pulling out some other cocktail sticks. Now the reason why I'm choosing this one is because it is a little bit chunkier, and now I'm going to show you how I make my little eyeglasses. So this is the crafting wire that I have on hand. One's kind of an aluminum color, one is copper, and the other one is what they refer to as gunmetal. I really wish that I had gold, but I'm going to work with what I have because I'm not feeling well, so I really don't feel like going out and getting more wire. So I'm cutting off a piece that's about maybe 2.5 inches long. Now remember, I build in 1/24 scale, so if you guys are doing this in 1/12 scale, you might want to use a shish kebab skewer or something that's like just a little bit bigger around. So, but it's the same principle. So there you go. I just twisted lens number 1, and then I'm straightening it out. And then I'm going to pull the cocktail stick out, and then I'm going to twist up the second lens. So that's as easy as it gets. You'll see when I do a close-up, I like it so that the flat part of the circle faces the front, and I'll be able to show you that a little bit better at the end when we do a close-up. So there you go. So that's my first pair of eyeglasses. And yes, it will be malformed, but that's what we've got tweezers, or not tweezers, that's what we have pliers for, so you can flatten it out. So I'm trying to do a second one just so you can see it a second time. So there you go, I'm twisting it once, and then I pull the stick out, and then I'm twisting it a second time. And see how easy that is? It's not hard at all. So I guess the big thing is it is not going to be formed exactly the way you want it to be, so you have to manipulate it. And because I'm using such thin wire, I can do some of the manipulation with my hands, but it's always worth it just to grab out the pliers and straighten it. So now I'm going to flatten it down. You see how I'm flattening it to make it look like a level pair of glasses. And then I'm going to be taking the pliers and bending the sides over to make the arms of the glasses. And I mean, these are really super easy to do. And I think they add like a nice piece of detail. So so there you go. I'm just kind of bending the arms in and making sure that they look proportionate on both sides. I guess the big thing is just to make sure that the whole thing is kind of level. So you do have to mess around with it a little bit, but I mean, this is a super easy little craft to do. So then I'm taking my pliers and I'm just kind of holding the arm, and then I'm bending the ear rest part over. Just make sure that it's the same length on both sides, and bending the ear rest part over. There you go. So, and then of course there's going to be a little bit of excess on the end, which you're going to take out the wire clippers and clip it and trim it. So, so there's my finished glasses. So I just got to trim the ear rests a little bit. Just try and do it evenly so it's the same size on both sides of the glasses. And whoops, there they go flying. So yeah, like super easy. And then again, you know, you might have to manipulate a little bit with the pliers or with your fingers to get them looking just so. And I think it just really adds like that little bit of extra detail. So, I mean, especially if you're doing a little library scene or you have a little book on a side table, you can put the little glasses on a book and see, doesn't that look cute? Just like the little miniature person walked away, and there's his book and his little spectacles so he could come back and finish reading his story. And yeah, I'm going to do the same to this second pair that I made. I'm just putting a tiny little bit of museum wax on top of the book so that these glasses won't shift around. And I kind of put a little bit too much. You got to watch how much you have there. So yeah, so easy peasy, not hard to do at all. So now I've got my little pencils, and I have to make them look like they have lead. So I'm just dipping them into the black paint just ever so slightly because I just want a little bit of lead on the end of the pencil. And then the part that's above the lead I left unpainted in the natural wood, which is the way a pencil really would look. And so I'm just going to take my little pencils and dip them into the black. And voila, they are done. I think they turned out pretty cute. So yeah, just doing these little tiny things is like makes a crazy big difference, I think. So I'm just putting the pencils on my hands so you can have a better close-up of what they look like. So as you can see here, they've got the little eraser and the gold around it, and then the little lead that's been painted by dipping them into the black. And then here's my little glasses and my little book that I put another set of glasses on. So yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. So there they are closer up. And yeah, I'm quite pleased with the way they turned out. And as I say, like, they're easy. This is like craft 101. Anybody can do this craft. So, and that little added detail is just like amazing inside of a little dollhouse or a room box. So again, you know, mine are really super tiny, but you could do these any size. So you could even make these Barbie size if you wanted to. So here's a better close-up of what they look like. So yeah, they turned out pretty well. So I'm quite pleased. Well, thank you very much for watching this video today. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that like button. Subscribing doesn't cost anything, and it really helps my channel out. And if you'd like to leave a comment, I enjoy reading your comments. And thanks so much, guys, and have the best day ever.